So my name is Omar Rampersad. It's 11 a.m., June 11, 2019. And sorry about that noise. That's the cleaner outside the door. Um, that's if it's picking up here. Um, so I posted a bunch of tweets, and I made a few connections, possible connections between what I'm observing and what's been reported in the newspaper about other incidents and other cases where people are being assaulted, kidnapped, tortured, raped, and killed women. So in my case, I'm being flagged continuously by the people in 25 Bamberg Circle. And I have come to understand that this flagging has been going on for quite a while. But at least 10 years now that I am aware of. But at no point in time was the file that the flagging was based on presented to me. And at no point in time was I questioned about the contents of the file, but the flagging is continuing. So, based on the harassing comments I get outside the door, outside the window, by workers, cleaners in the building, residents, neighbors, and so on, and in the public, because information is traveling out of the building and in the workplaces as well. I'm being flagged continuously until it's absoluted, I heard. And this is a way of bypassing the system, I also heard. That I'm a prostitute, I was a prostitute, I'm a prostitute, not quite sure. Mentally ill because shouting all the time and whatever else that's being recorded. And also uh, duplicates, doubles are being used to create this fake file. And based on piggybacking on what's already being observed or recorded about me. So, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. And if you look at my other videos, that's consistent happening as well. So, and there you go. That's why I sneezed. The the tagging and the microwave tagging of the nose and the nostril, the sinuses, and sometimes inside the nostrils, and the eyes, and the ear, it triggers sneezing. It's on and off. And that is, if you look at my other videos, this is also consistent. My hand is tagged. If you notice, um, the radiation is not high enough from the screen to trigger the alarm, but it is triggering the alarm on me. So, okay, so what was I saying? Um, the flagging, so the consistent flagging, but no due processing for 10 years. So once you're flagged in the system, the monitoring is outsourced to the community. So the community is notified. There are meetings about you. I heard flyers. Investigations are being done by the cops in the area, asking whether people saw me walking. Because if you know if people see you walking, then you could be a street walker when really I walk for exercise because of other health issues. So these things are twisted. Things observed in real life are intentionally twisted to flag you. And this, of course, it has to be done with the collusion of the cops. So the cops who are working with the people at 25 Bamberg Circle are flagging based on lies and then outsource the monitoring to the people at 25 Bamberg Circle. So the main person who have a receipt for me signs me out and I could put a deposit. I'm not quite sure how this process works. I'm only talking about what I heard. Then subcontracts to other people in the building. So as I said, everybody in the building can subcontract. Everybody, anyone in other buildings as well. There are 3 buildings in the compound and in the community and in the workplaces. So anybody could be a source. Anybody could be a subcontractor, including family members. So the criminals are taking advantage of this as a cover, and is accessing victims that's on the list, and are using through the wall technologies, remote technologies to act on the victim. So I posted a link to how cyber sex is being perpetrated. The industry of cyber sex is being carried on in communities within certain countries, Taiwan, um, Philippines. So the girls and kids, a lot of these victims are kids, are held inside, forced inside in a room with cameras, and are forced to do certain things to themselves, and maybe with sex toys, and maybe with animals, and maybe with each other, for the viewing pleasure of the client who's paying. And a lot of these clients are North American, and Europeans as well. So an extension of that is to use haptic technology and remotely affect the person, which is very easily done. Technology is there, so the technology will be abused. So the haptic technology is used and is set up, linked to the internet around the unit of the victim. And condominiums and apartment buildings are very good for this setup. So I'm suspecting that the technology is underneath my unit and above my unit, and maybe on the sides, but definitely above and below. So, lasers, microwaves, and so on goes through the walls. So you can have the client wear a haptic suit and hook on to a computer with sensors, and instead of the victim, asking, telling the victim what to do, they are actually doing it themselves to the victim's body. This is a variation of cyber prostitution, cyber sex slavery done through the net, done remotely. So this is what I'm suspecting is going on at 25 Bamberg Circle in Toronto. So all the signals that I'm recording and the pain I'm experiencing as a direct result of the power being turned up on these signals. This is clients who are disciplining you for not doing what you're supposed to do. And you're told what these clients want by comments around you. And how do you know that? Well, because the names are called. People in the workplace, people in the building. Um, and some names are workers' names, cleaners' names. There was Mexican cleaners in the building. I heard some of those names. There are neighbors' names. These people are logged on to you and acting on you. And they let you know that they are acting on you by synchronizing the alarm, the microwave signals that triggers the alarm to knocks. So you would have a painful hit between your legs, and you'd have a knock. Most in my unit, most of the knocking comes from the loading dock. 3 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Years ago, a lot of the knocking came from directly above the unit above. And the same woman who lives in the unit above tried to make contact with me and tried to befriend me. This is imprinting to let you know that this is the person who's logged on. So these are trainers training you and customizing you for the clients that they're selling to remotely. And this could be anywhere in the world: China, Hong Kong, India, Pakistan, the Caribbean, anywhere in the world. So this is what I'm suspecting is going on at 25 Bamberg Circle. And this is what I'm suspecting is the real reason that I'm being flagged. And that's an alarm going off outside my window. And I'm also suspecting that I'm being sold to the contractors who are working in the building, who come in to do work for the corporation. It's very possible that, these people are subcontracting to other people, their friends, and so on. So when this setup is accomplished by flagging and absoluting that the person is a criminal when the person really isn't, then the person is a tool. Because once the subcontractor gets the link and the password to remotely assault, they can give that link and the password to anybody. So you want a favor from someone, you give the link and the password, you get a favor. The companies can use you to drive sales. Companies can use you to get better deals for supplies. Clients, you can pass out the link and the password to clients, so your business could be run smoother for whatever reason within the organization. You're a tool, and this is exactly what I suspect is going on in my case. Because at Give and Go, a company that I worked for, I was passed around by a whole lot of people. The setup was one huge floor. Everyone was on the floor. There were no partitions. You can hear everything anyone says on the floor. And this was huge. And I was passed around. When I felt a pain between my legs, somebody will stand up and say, I did that. That was a gerbil. So you'd know exactly who it was. This was especially true for somebody called Manny at Give and Go. And he was very, very, very brutal with the power that he used to discipline me, because it was understood in the company that I was his slave. I was also passed around to other people as well. So, talk to you another time. Oh, and my point was, let me circle back to this building. It started in this building. It started at 25 Bamberg Circle. I was passed around to residents in 25 Bamberg Circle and maybe to other buildings as well when the setup started. Talk to you another time.